All right, time to share this screen and get rocking and rolling here. Here we go. Let's share the screen. That's not the right one. This is the one. Here we go. And we are ready to rock and roll. Hey, folks, this is Doug Crow speaking. And we're going to talk today. Look at that blank screen. Watch this. Watch the miracle of Google Hangouts do its thing. Ta-da! 48 hours. 48 hours to thousands of targeted hits to your website or landing page. And of course, the benefit of that, the result of that, what do you want? We want a crowd of hungry buyers from it. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to teach you this. I'm going to show you my specific 5-step program to do this. And I'm going to give you examples of how authentic experts, guys you've seen on ABC and major news stations, do the same thing and leverage their brand. They really get the brand out there without having to do all the nonsense that most of us are taught to do, okay? So I'll give you a little background, basically. And before we do that, I want you to take your thinking caps and just reverse it. Just everything you think you know about marketing and traffic and branding and building lists and getting clients, I want you to take a lesson from Apple. When Apple started, okay, they didn't talk about building a new computer. They didn't talk about an all-in-one machine or a new operating system. All they said was think different. Think different. So tonight, that's what we're going to do. We're going to actually think different. I'm going to talk a little differently, hopefully, and give you some new and different ideas in order to basically help you leverage your brand and get some new stuff done for yourself. And one way to do that is to think different, is to start with something completely different, like a corn kernel. That's great, Doug. What the heck is a corn kernel doing on an internet marketing presentation? Well, I'm going to share that with you in a few minutes. But keep that image in your brain. It's actually very relevant to what I'm going to talk about here in the next 15 or 20 minutes. So another strange thing, or perhaps a slightly unusual thing, is that we're not actually having any specific direct sales on this webinar. I'm going to spend probably the first 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes maybe, actually teaching you, showing you examples of how to get targeted traffic, get authority branding, okay, by credible sources. And when that's completed, I do have some applications and some things to explain to you after that. But there's a definite program to actually educate you, and that's what we're going to focus on right now. So in order to do that, we've got to take another lesson from the past here, not just Apple, but somebody in between the other guy, Newton's Apple and Apple computers. Albert Einstein said this: we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Notice the word "we" is in there a couple of times. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them, 3 times. So it's not about somebody else out there. What did you do? What did you do to create your current problems? Take responsibility for them. Okay, when you do that, you're halfway there. The half, of course, is using some different type of thinking. You can't use the same thinking you've used previous to solve these things. You got to get some new thoughts in your head. And what I'm going to do with you is give you a quick 60-second background on my credentials and why I think I've got some good value for you tonight. I'm a business owner like you, and I'm also a former ABC radio host. I'm the founder of a company called Author Your Brand. We help people create books about their brand and their company and make them bestsellers. I'm also a journalist with Newswire. And by combining these assets, skills, and experiences, I'm able to work with professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners to do a couple of very important things. And that's why they're in bold here. All right, I'm going to help eliminate your overwhelm. I'm going to absolutely destroy some common myths. And if you choose to, help you become a recognized expert. Okay, that means recognition from somebody other than your Facebook fans. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. So that's what we're going to do. That's my background and why I'm qualified to basically share with you some of these things tonight. So what are you doing now? Do you have a blog, Facebook, LinkedIn? Yeah, this is the stuff we're taught, right? We are taught to have a website. You're online marketing. You got to be online. Where's your website? Did you put some money in it? Does it look good? Does it work? Okay, you put some time into it. Yeah, okay, well, guess what? So did everybody else. Great, okay, well, maybe I should have a blog. And do I add some content to that blog? Do I write something interesting, useful? Yes, you did. Okay, that you put content out there. Well, guess what? So did everybody else. How about Facebook? Do I got a Facebook fan page, a business profile? Am I putting content and pictures on there? Am I getting engagement? Do I get people to click on the like button or occasionally share what I say, which is so valuable, the cat video, or perhaps some useful content. Put some money into that. It's professionally designed. Maybe hire an admin or a VA to help you with it. How about time? You put some time in that? Good. Guess what? So is everybody else. I can keep going, right? LinkedIn, YouTube, right? We got to put stuff on there. High quality content, maybe some video editing. Wow, is that getting seen? Is your video popping up on the first page of YouTube when there are millions of new videos going out every single day? It's unlikely. Okay. What about SEO? Once you get your stuff built, right? Once you get it out there and going, is it actually working? Are you getting that content SEO'd? Is it rising above the other pieces of content out there? I don't know. Everyone else is doing that too. So I've been a publisher and a book creator for people. Well, you need to be an Amazon bestseller. Let's get you way above the crowd here. Let's get you become a published author, maybe even a bestseller. That costs even more money. It takes even more time. When people invest all their time and money and resources into the blog, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, website, Twitter, all that stuff, the question you ask as a business owner is, what are you making on that? Okay. What are you actually earning on that stuff? If you're earning stuff on it, great. But if you're not, then there's a little challenge here. Okay. If you don't have an ROI on that's a challenge. So the question then becomes something perhaps even more critical to you, which is, if you got a business or a company or even a job on the side that's supporting it, that's good. But from your online marketing efforts, are you earning more than minimum wage? If you are, you're one of the lucky few, because a lot of people aren't earning steadily. They're putting all their money and extra capital and resources into their online marketing. But are they getting a return on it? Are they making $10 every dollar they put in, or $2 even, or anything? Regardless of where you are, whether you're making a lot or little or neutral or don't know, now comes the hard part. Okay, the hard part is this. What's Kevin Costner doing on this thing, Doug? Okay, there's a famous movie that was also done, I think, back in the 80s, early 90s. I don't know the date. Doesn't matter. He looks young there. Field of Dreams. Who remembers that movie? Raise your hand. Click on the little hand button if you've seen this movie, if you like it, if you remember it. Yeah, we did. It's a great movie. Very inspirational. A lot of fun. I really enjoyed this movie. Why? Because it had a great message, right? What was the message? Remember? The message was this spirit person, ghost, talking to Kevin saying, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. Well, that's beautiful, Doug. That's a great message. And guess what? That's what we have all been taught by multimillionaire marketers now for years online. We're taught, if you build that website, you'll be in business. Then what happened? Well, websites get very easy to build. Whoa, you better do something else now. You better put SEO in there. Oh, wow, I can SEO something and make lots of money. Great. And then Google changes the algorithm. And then everyone learns that. And all of a sudden now you're part of the field here, right? You're part of everybody else. Oh, you got to do LinkedIn. Oh, that everyone does that. Facebook. Now everybody does that. See where this is going? If you build it, they will come. While that might make for an inspirational movie, give us a lot of hope and power and love and all that stuff, when it comes to reality, I'm going to defer to this guy. Okay, how's that working for you? In the movie, Kevin Costner was faced with a decision. He's like, the banker came and said, if you don't get rid of this baseball field and plant corn here, you're not going to have enough revenue to pay your mortgage. You're going to go down in a very steep way if you don't get rid of this dream of yours. But you know what? We're entrepreneurs, and we believe that if we build that baseball diamond, that magically, mystically, that thing that we crave, whether it's the baseball team from this era, or our clients, we believe it's going to come because we built it. We built something of value, right? There's a huge flaw in this program, guys. Huge flaw. After you build this thing, it's not about building it. You can have the prettiest website on the planet, but if nobody sees it, nobody even knows it, Doesn't matter. You have to have traffic. Without traffic, you're nowhere. It's got to be targeted traffic, not just any old traffic. It's all about traffic targeted to you, period. That's it. How do you get this traffic, Doug? Well, we are taught and sold that you've got to do all these things. You've got to start getting traffic to your website. I got to do Facebook posts and LinkedIn blog posts and YouTube videos and ads, put on ads on Google or pay per action things. I could even go and buy crappy traffic from Fiverr or do Facebook advertising or do blog, even guest blogging and doing a podcast. I'm going to be a radio personality and do a podcast, or even use software to generate traffic. There's lots of ways we can get it that works, but most of it is a struggle. It's a guesswork. It's thin. It's expensive. It's confusing. It's a mess. Okay, and so we're talking. Maybe we could advertise. That's guaranteed. If I advertise, put my image and my message out there, I can get CPM. Okay, I can get thousands of views to my ad. All right, but what is advertising anyway? When I study this stuff, I think, my gosh, this stuff is annoying. I'm reading. Has this ever happened to you? You're reading something online, and all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 minutes passes by. You're on like a different website, about 4 websites away from what you were reading, because you clicked on one thing, and that took you somewhere else, and that took you somewhere else, and that took you somewhere else. And before you know it, you're looking at cat videos or Kim Kardashian's haircut, and you're like, what the heck? How did I get here? Well, advertisers are very good psychologists, especially the expensive ones, right? They've taught us how to pull you away from what you're really looking for. To me, that's annoying. If it's done really well, you don't even know it's happening. So it can be confusing, and to do it really well, man, it's expensive. It costs money to try, test, target, measure. If you don't measure that stuff, you're in deep doo-doo. That's the benefit of being an online advertiser, is you can actually track this stuff. I can't track billboard impressions very easily. Actually, I can track impressions of billboards with traffics of cars, but I can't track responses. I can sort of check responses if I get a different phone number for each billboard. I guess I could. Then I have to have a call center. Then I have to pay people to manage that. See how this is going? It's expensive. Online, oh, it's cheaper. I put a little Google Analytics on there, and I can track where my traffic is coming from, if I have any. Who are these people who are coming to your website if you have tracking on there? How long did they stay? If they didn't stick around and they left, why did they leave? Did they click on something? Did they buy something? If they clicked on anything and then still left, why did they do that? Do you realize that most of the people who come to your website right now leave, and you haven't a clue as to why they did that? You are clueless as to why people actually left your website. Most of them, sometimes 85, 90, 95% of your traffic is just poof, gone. That's sort of disheartening. You spend all that money to drive one person there, and they leave, and you don't know why. 95 times out of 100, you have no clue. Oh, wrong way. So, you're on this webinar, guys, probably because you can answer this question the way I did when I started looking at this idea of getting more traffic. Is, you really satisfied with the traffic you're getting right now? No, I want more. More importantly, I just don't want only a higher quantity. I want better quality too, So the typical marketer overall, and you're here, I'm guessing, because you're just not getting the results that you expect or want or are happy with. I mean, all this social media, blog, podcasting, engagement stuff, engagement doesn't, blah, blah, blah. Engagement doesn't pay any bills. Somebody's engaging or sharing something, technically, I said that's all they do. You don't make any money on that. What the only question you need to ask and answer is this one. Are you being found on page 1 of Google? Because if you are, when people are actually looking for this solution that you provide, that's where they're going to end up. They're going to click, I'm looking for X. I type it in the search engine, and I look at the first page only, and they click on 1, maybe 2 links on there, and I start drilling down deep. If you're not on that first page, you're not going to be found, and you are the proverbial tree in the forest that When it crashes, doesn't make a sound because nobody is there to hear it. That's the fact. So I'm going to share with you in a few minutes how you can be found on page 1 of Google over and over again, hundreds of times per day. And I'm going to help you understand how giving you thousands of targeted hits to your website is going to make a huge difference in your business. And that means money. I mean, if you had even just 1,000, that's a small number online, right? 1,000 targeted hits. And if you had a decent website, a landing page, an offer that converted at 10% on even a $100 product, that's 10 grand, $97 product. Okay, $9,700 in revenue on only 1,000 targeted hits, provided you have some decent conversion. That's pretty good stuff. That doesn't make me feel so bad about those 900 people who come and go. So here's my new way. This is the overview, the broad strokes of what we're going to discuss tonight or this afternoon. I write quality articles that news sites want to reproduce. And I share these articles with these news sites, and the news websites share it as well. It's write, share, news. It all happens automatically. Okay, now someone goes to create converting sales copy, and if you talk to any decent and mid-level or high-level copywriters, the numbers I'm tossing out here are common. I have three actually. I have two highly paid business copywriters. They start their fees at 25 grand and go up from there. The third guy's out of reach. He's like a 6-figure guy. But the average decent good copywriter gets $25 or $1,000 or more to write converting sales copy. Why would they pay that much money, Doug? That sounds crazy. Well, those kind of guys write copy for sites that get a ton of traffic, or sometimes do direct mail pieces. They get sent out to hundreds of thousands of homes, and that $25,000 sales letter converts into millions of dollars for that company. So it's a small price to pay. Okay. In this case, what we're doing is we write a converting sales letter without selling at all. And it's so much better than trying to manipulate and cajole and influence someone to make a buying decision. I'm storytelling, okay? We tell stories where people are actually reading and sharing it and taking action. We're not technically overtly selling anything at all. It's done to educate, inform, entertain, and then we embed some language in that story that causes people to take action. That's the magic part. That's why I'm going to compare what we do with a high converting sales letter, and I'm going to actually make a bold statement that we do actually a little bit better job of it, because we can get a lot more done for a lot less money in a lot less time. So my breakdown is this. I share this very special article with the top 250 news websites around the globe. Now, the reason I'm able to do this is I'm a journalist myself. In other words, the layman doesn't have the credentials to even get in this kind of door, because if with no credentials, there's no door. You're sort of stuck. Now, the news websites, in order for the thing to go viral, in order for it to go viral even in a small way, the news sites have to like the article. If they don't like it, it goes nowhere. When they do like it, it definitely goes viral in a couple different areas. One in the news segment, we call that syndication, and then into social media stream as well. This is why it's vital to have the right kind of article written in order for it to really, get some traction, get out there. The big differentiation, and this is some people will look at what I do and say, oh, it sounds like a press release. No, I do not write press releases. So those people are often in my industry. I might be compared with them, but I don't do those. We craft stories. We craft newsworthy, virally shared, interesting, compelling, emotionally driven stories that people actually read. And I can prove it to you in the next few slides here. When they read these, they take action on them. And that's what we want. I want that buy button to go click for you. Now consider this. Back it up a little bit. How many of you have ever commented on or liked or shared any news article ever? Just go ahead and raise your hand. Click on the hand raising button there if you've ever shared anything online. Yeah, we all have. Whether it's a cat video, something silly or stupid, or something happened in the news, something interesting, something valuable, something controversial. We share stuff all the time. That's fun. That's good. It makes the whole thing really rock and roll, social media wise. But now it's your turn. You've already done this for other people. Now we're going to start doing it for you. So the results, okay, this is the result of this sharing, is that highly targeted clicks will go to your website. And when that happens from the right places, you get this thing called SEO juice, and that's a backlink from an authority site. Now, if you don't know what that means, I'm going to explain it to you real briefly. SEO, search engine optimization, means there's 13 billion web pages on the internet. Maybe there's 100. I don't know. There's a lot, right? How does Google know which one to put above the other? Well, they've got this complex and highly proprietary algorithm that says this site is better than this one. The higher ranked site is getting more traffic, is getting more views and shares. Therefore, it's more valuable. So I'm going to rank it higher than the one that's being shared less. And when I rank that one higher, guess what happens? I become more relevant. People go to Google, and I can sell more ads. It's that simple. It's all about the money. The more ads they sell, the better off they are, better off the advertisers feel, and the better the organic content is. So SEO juice, the strongest SEO juice you can get is from an authority website. It's not from some dumb blog that no one's read, but it comes from Google News, ABC, CBS, those types of sites. That's high quality. Google loves that stuff because it's newsworthy. And that's the kind of link you want. And the results when you get that started is that it gets shared over and over again by the top sites. Now, this is what we're taught. Remember that corn kernel I shared with you a minute ago? I planted it in your brain, and now we are going to harvest it. You built a website or had someone build a website for you. Congratulations. Perhaps you put a blog on it. Yay, content. Hey, I need some video. Video is a new rage now, Web 2.0. I need video on there. Let's go ahead and YouTube and put some videos on there. You're YouTubing every week, right? Probably not, but you put some content out there. It's not working. I need more traffic, Doug. I know. Facebook, LinkedIn. Remember those things? We are adding more content to our stalk of corn, to our plant. We planted this thing in the ground called a website, and we are taught to add more stuff to this piece of corn and go, wow, look how cool I am. Look at this great content I have. People should love me. They should come to me and go, you've got the greatest stuff. You see the problem coming? The problem is everybody's doing the same darn thing. You are not unique. I don't care how cool it is, what kind of pictures you put on there, what kind of things you possibly could say to anybody about your business. I guarantee you everyone else is saying the same thing. Oh no, I've got the special. No, you don't. Okay? Everyone's saying the same thing. You tell me which stalk of corn is yours out there in this field. Or if you want to be even more depressed, how about on this whole acre? Because it's not just the people that you know of who are your competitors. What about the ones you don't know of? Regionally, nationally, or to make you even more depressed, how about internationally? Okay, you have competition all over the globe in other languages you don't even know exist. They're taking market share away from you. This corn stalk approach of building your nice little silo of notoriety is not working. Okay, you don't stand out. You're that little teeny weeny buy button in an ocean, and nobody knows you exist. Okay, we're taught to do the website, put the content on there. You get it? Corn stalk, no good. I want you to think different. Remember what Apple said, think different. And along with thinking different, we're gonna think much, much bigger. We're not gonna build just one corn stalk. Don't cut your corn stalk down, mind you. You wanna keep that thing alive and keep it there, but we're gonna add some stuff to it in a huge way. We're gonna think much, much bigger. I want you to memorize this visual right here because I'm gonna modify it. This is a hub and spoke system. Instead of building one corn stalk, we're gonna have multiple chains of people all linked together talking about one thing, you and your buy button. There can be an international news site. It could be a regional news site, a local news site, an industry magazine. But these are all high quality, newsworthy, highly respected websites referring to you, taking their readers directly to your content and your buy button. It's something advertisers try to do, and they spend a lot more money than news stations do, than journalists do. It's a lot less expensive to be in the news than it is to advertise. That's a key differentiator here. Keep that in mind. And once that happens once, we don't just stop. We keep sharing it. We syndicate it to dozens of other news sites. So by the end of a campaign, which generally tends to go on for quite a while if you do it right, you've got thousands of backlinks going to your stuff. And most of those on these news sites, they stick around for nearly ever. It's really good stuff. Here's what this means. Your authority backlinks will get your websites ranked higher, which gets your articles ranked higher, which gets your landing pages ranked higher, your sales pages, and your buy buttons, right? We want to make money here. We get those found, which allows you more sales so you can beat your competition. That's the goal here, right? So let me give you an example. We had a guy, Lane Etheridge, who's a school teacher, retired school teacher. Well, he left the profession because he was very interested in self-development, very good speaker, and wanted to launch his career into a very competitive field. So he went from zero to consulting fees of 25 grand as a result of our news articles. And as a bonus, he became an Amazon #1 best-selling author in the category business mentoring and coaching. Okay, during his campaign, his book was #1, and he beat out New York Times bestselling author Keith Ferrazzi. Now, Keith has been recognized as a top business book and author 3 years in a row. Never Eat Alone, very good book. And because of what we did online, because of what we did in the news, Lane surpassed him. This client, Tracy, was doing a female leadership conference. And we said, geez, we've got Obama making an announcement this week for Penny Pritzker, the first commerce secretary, first female commerce secretary. Tracy wanted to rank for female leadership. At press time, for the term female leadership in Google, 16.7 million index pages with the term female leadership in it. 16.7 million. So when our story broke, she made the #1 spot. Page 1, spot 1. This guy did a book, about small business becoming big ones. First page of Google News. Forbes, same term. Forbes got slot 5. My news article was #1. Matter of fact, just a couple weeks ago, one of our clients was doing a financial piece, and his news story got indexed on over 2,000 pages on Google alone. And it was a financial one, and because we have relationships with the good syndication partners, Bloomberg picked it up and published his story. Now, I don't know what an ad costs on Bloomberg, but this was good because people actually read this stuff. They don't always read the ads. And here's the last one we did with Jim, actually. Jim Graham, he has a great program coming up, the Global Traffic Seminar coming up in July. So we did a news article, not about him, right? He was featured as commentary in this article, but the article was about education, entrepreneurship. And in 48 hours, 5,000 hits to his website. And that was for a high-ticket product. So who this is not for is critical to know. And I apologize for not getting this earlier, but I'm assuming most people on the webinar are not get-rich people. They understand this is real business. Even though the results come quickly, your business may take a while to mature, right? It may take time for people to understand that you're in the news and you're not going away. And it's not for fake experts, people who say there's something and they're not. Internet's transparent. Journalism, even more transparent, because we actually vet and do background checks on what you say. They always get like a second source and check things out, because we are there to actually expose fake experts, not support them. So if you don't have any expertise in what you're doing, just tell me that, and we'll actually work with you to make sure that we say the right thing about you. Maybe you're a new expert or something like that. That's okay, but you never lie. It's not going to work. And this is not for people with no product or service. If you don't have a clear product or service in place right now, then we can talk to you, perhaps even work with you in helping you develop that, but we're not going to launch any traffic to a site that doesn't have any product or service on there. We'll talk more about that. I've done some work with nonprofits too. It's a lot of fun. Okay, quick confession. The advantage of working with me, of course, is that I have exclusive credentials to get your story ranked on page 1 of Google. And the way we do this with our story-based combination of journalism and marketing, it's a very rare skill set and resources. So I'm really only about one of 20 people worldwide that do this particular thing. So think about this from your own perspective now. Imagine this scenario for yourself. What if your story happened to be shared hundreds or thousands of times on important websites? And what if you had 5,000 hits to your website and only converted 10% of the time on a $97 product? You know what that is? That's some money. That's some serious cash. It's $50,000. Does that sound like a stretch? Absolutely not. What got me there was quality news stories that are shared thousands of times. And when they're positioned right and with high quality, readable and shareable content, with a proven formula and with my credentials, that's the secret sauce right there. Okay, it's really how you're positioned online. And now, boom, you're on page 1 of Google. Simple as that. Now, I'm going to share with you right now, there's this 5-step formula, all right? And you've got to say it in the right way. It's not just putting any old content out there. I'm not into content marketing. That's two-dimensional. It's not going to work, okay? I'm going to teach you the specifics of this proven formula right now, okay? This is it. There are 5 steps to new traffic. Number 1, follow trending news. Number 2, include your compelling opinion in that news. Number 3, become the right position in the story. Number 4, get those stories shared on hundreds of websites. And number 5, get those other websites to pick up and continue to share that story. When you do those 5 steps in sequence over and over again, targeted traffic of potential buyers, people actually interested in your product, service, or ideas, okay? So step 1, trending news. What is a trending topic? Well, it's something that's already being talked about out there. When I talk about advertising versus news, it's so clear to me. I'm probably gonna repeat this more than once on this webinar, but when people are reading about Kate Blanchett sleeping with women, okay, that's news, right? I don't know why, but it is. People want to read about that. So that's a trending topic. There's this weird game that was scaring parents called the Game of 72, or Microsoft Windows Phone. It was a trending story. There was not just one article about it. There were dozens of people talking about this topic, and those stories are clicked on, they're shared, they're commented on, and they're all on highly ranked, high quality, respected news sites. So when more people are talking about an article, and it could be something even sad, a tragedy, a train wreck, or some violence, whatever it is, that's a trending news story. And sometimes we would very politely and carefully inject your opinion in that story. But whatever's trending in the news, that's where we start. When you try to be the standout guy in your field, standout gal or guy, that's a weird thing to do. Think about it. Why would you want to detract people from where they're already going? They're reading these things as trending in the news. All right, so we're going to focus on the trends. Don't try to buck the system here, okay? The system works for a reason, and we might not know the psychological reasons why people follow negative or tragic stories, but they do, and we're going to inject ourselves in that. So number 1, step 1, follow, be aware of, and get involved with the trending news stories. Number 2, include your compelling opinion. Compelling opinion. It might mean a controversial opinion. It could be a disagreement. It could be a lot of things. I mean, I love working on headlines. If you take a look at these two, and this is sort of crazy, but one of them is a very controversial headline. A funny thing happens when drugs are legalized. Violence and crime happen a lot less. Well, that's controversial. I thought drugs and crime increase with, I don't know. Other one was a sort of funny one. If you're homeless and in college, what do you do when the dorms close? She faced it. Okay, and that was like a really casual picture. It looks like it's done by her friend or roommate or something. So there's a human intrigue in that question, and your compelling opinion may be part of the headline or could be an exact opposite of the headline. Especially if it's a negative story, we don't want to paint you anything other than positive. I'll show you some examples of that in a minute. Step 3, after we include your compelling opinion, is to actually position you inside that story. That position must be done with really positive, or really highly ranked keywords. In this case, we looked at one for a client with the whole police brutality thing that's going on out there in the U.S. and abroad. So there's over 1,000 searches a day, 30,000 searches a month on that term. So you want to make sure you actually look at the popular trending stories and popular keywords, and then we position you with your opinion inside of that story. Those are the 3 things that go like in a triangle: trending, positioning, and your compelling opinion. Once that's all set up, then we got to craft that very important piece, that news article, that story that it's going to actually be read and shared. And then it gets shared on hundreds of websites, from the local to national, trade journals, a lot of things out there, all high quality sites that you have heard about or seen in the news. After that's done, it gets shared even more. Now it gets syndicated out and shared by not just the news stations, right, but the industry journals and even a lot of the social things that I was sort of poo-pooing earlier about the whole cornstalk thing. We're going to use those, but we're not going to lead with those. We're going to follow with those. We'll start you out on Google News, put you on ABC, CBS, CNN, BBC, and your industry journals, whether it's health, fitness, finance, home life, lifestyle, travel, whatever it is. It gets published in all these places, and then it gets shared socially at the end of that stream, because it can go viral when they have a really powerful story there. I'll give you some examples of that in a minute also. So I call this newsjacking. Okay, the formula is very simple: trending topic, your opinion, your unique and positive position. It gets published and shared. When you do those 5 things in sequence and position them properly, highly targeted traffic of potential buyers, right? So it must relate to basic psychology of human interest, though. It can't just be any old thing. It's got to connect with that psychological triggers that we all have, and that could be something as simple as a holiday, whether it's Mother's Day or Independence Day or Christmas, whatever it is nationally for you. It doesn't really matter. Those types of events are they work, especially on slow news days. People talk about that kind of stuff. They talk about it on TV and radio and print all over the place. It could also be about celebrities. Celebrities are great to basically newsjack because they're in the news all the time. And a lot of clients think, how can I relate my stuff to a celebrity? It's easy. If these two are talking about adopting a baby and you don't run an adoption service, that's no big deal. You could talk about family values. You could talk about your whatever you do. You can always make a link or a jump over to what's happening with a celebrity. It's very easy because they're people too. You can do it. I can help you. It could be something like sports or politics. Any human interest stories work very well. They tend to be longer cycles. They tend to last a little bit because they're not so flighty. A disaster will last for a day or two, then go away. But human interest, science, actually anything, any news can be linked to your business. You get to choose, and we talk about that during our discussions of which ones to go with and why. And we test out different ones every month for you to see which ones work best. So it's an ongoing process. So what is in the news that you can relate to? Sometimes people get a little stumped on that, but I never do. Take, for example, the celebrity thing. What if the celebrity's just bought or sold a house? Well, if you're a realtor, that's an easy one. Your story can comment on how your solution as a mortgage broker could have saved them money on their taxes, or if you're a realtor, how you would have changed the listing to sell more or faster or whatever, or charge more. Or if you're in marketing, you could have said, hey, I would have done a charity promotion and donated my first $2 million of the sale of the house to a charity. Or if you're it doesn't matter what you are. I mean, anything can be linked to an event and a celebrity solution. What about the holiday thing, right? This is always a fun one for me because I love picking obscure topics for this one. It's easy if you sell, jewelry, chocolate, or flowers for Mother's Day. This is a perfect gift. That's easy. It's not even newsworthy though. Let's take something even more obscure. Let's say that you sell a commodity. I used this example before. I'll just do it again. But let's say you sell something as mundane as eco-friendly light bulbs, all right? And you're like, well, geez, Doug, I've got these eco-friendly light bulbs, and Mother's Day is coming up. Why don't we go ahead and do a Mother's Day special for light bulbs? And if you were a typical marketer, you say it's a perfect gift for Mom, and they're 20% off. Come by, come by, come by, come by, come by. Go away. That's not what Mother's Day is about. People's not reading those stories about light bulbs, nor are they going to look at your ad for light bulbs. It's tough to sell light bulbs unless you're a journalist, unless you tell a good story. Story I would do, I'd take a city like Detroit, Michigan in the United States, or any depressed area in your country, in Australia or something, and say, you know what? The social safety net, it's got a flaw in it. We would find a story of perhaps a young mother with 3 or 4 kids, lost her husband, working 2.5 jobs to make ends meet, lost one of her jobs, and she struggles every day to feed her children. Matter of fact, after she lost her highest paying job, she got some new medical bills in, and she couldn't afford to pay medical bills and food and utilities. And she had to get one of those things, she had to let one of them go. And she said, you know what, I have candles. I'm gonna go ahead and just not pay the electric bill for a couple months. We'll get along okay. I gotta feed my kids. Too bad the social safety net isn't working well. We just found a trending story. The trending topic is the social safety net is flawed in my country. And there's not enough action to make this problem go away. But you know what? Bob Jones from ABC Electric decided to do something about it. He was fed up with the government's inability to take care of its citizens. He was fed up with seeing people fall through the cracks of the social safety net. He was fed up, and he decided to do something about it. So Bob Jones paid her electric bill for a full year and gave her a lifetime supply of his energy efficient light bulbs. Now, that story might not have made you cry or laugh, but it's a heck of a lot more interesting than, I've got a 20% off special, right? Ads can work, but stories are memorable. Stories are shared. That's what you want to be involved with. And what about something negative, like a government scandal? Almost the same thing. If you don't have a direct correlation to something, that's okay. We'll create a campaign with you and say, hey, what, in the month of July, the month of September, we're going to donate 10% of all of our profits to a related charity, because you know what? The Veterans Administration's got a scandal. They're screwing things up. And, we lead this way, right? We lead with the scandal, the challenges. Government doesn't do anything. People can't, their votes don't count anymore, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and just do something for the vets, because these are the ones that are suffering. Forget the rhetoric. I want to take action. So I'm going to help with the veterans by donating 10% of my profits to the veterans, to Wounded Warrior Project or whatever it is. Okay, you can connect the dots on any negative news and make yourself the hero. That's a story. Your goal, of course, is to get your story shared, and that will get you to page 1 of the search engines. That's the goal. Okay, and once it's shared, ooh, that's where the magic really occurs. Because now Google sees that sharing, and they monitor that, and they count that towards something. So the more it's shared, the more it rises in the ranks, right? It can actually stick around for a while. So when you take a look at your current content, what would you have right now, right? How many of you've got a blog, you've got an article, you've got something out there. How many of you have had your story shared by the BBC, shared by Fox, CNN, or even your local news station? Okay. Search engine ranking factors by Kissmetrics tell us that search, in fact, the number of backlinks to your site is the number 3 ranking factor. Number 3. There's like, I don't know how many, 20, 30 different things they look at here, but the top 3, this is number 3, is the number of backlinks you have. So when you see your first clipping report from news stories that we do for you, and I give you 100, 200, 300 high quality backlinks from news sites, your webmaster is going to flip. He's going to say, I can put all these, yeah, these are all pointing to the website. Holy smokes, that's good stuff. Okay, and again, to remind you, we don't do press releases. Press releases, actually, Google was not really happy with them last year, and they delisted a lot of them because they were putting just garbage out there. During that same period of time, my news, which would include your story, had a 16% increase, while everybody else was dropping through the floor in terms of how many stories were actually being indexed, shared, and actually published out there. So Google, in their infinite wisdom, they're going to put your story from these websites, right? They're going to take your story and rank you on page 1. That's the bottom line. And that's a lot of channel. I have the listings you'll get generally are about 5 or 6 pages long of all the news stations that are going to pick up and publish and share your story. It's sort of overwhelming. So, you've been doing this cornstalk method, right? We've all been doing the cornstalk method. That's what I was taught. I'm like, oh, I'll do that. It works a little bit, but it doesn't work the way you need it to. Okay. Your current strategy of the blogging, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, website, SEO, even the book, all that stuff has some value, but what are the actual results you're getting? What is the actual result? How many new leads, how many more sales are you getting from all that content you put out there? What are your results so far? Think about it. Okay, I've shared with you my entire strategy. It's earned myself and my clients millions. And you could do all this for yourself. The 5 steps, it's not complicated. Trending stories, your compelling opinion, positioning it, publishing it, and sharing it. That's it. But the fact is, there's no comparison of benefits of the way I do it. It's not what you know, it's who you know. That's an old expression, and it's never been more true than in publishing circles. Viral story writing and my credentials, that's what makes this whole thing work. Your results are not going to be a cornstalk anymore. It's the hub and spoke times 10. It's over and over again on these high quality sites. That's the bottom line. So, we get your story told. And your story, your news story, is professionally written. And it starts off in Google News. That's square one on this whole pattern. And then it's sent and shared to thousands, at the end of the day, thousands of other channels across the globe. Industry sites, local sites, regional sites, national sites, international sites, all highly ranked, highly respected news channels. And that gets you ranked on page 1 of Google so you can get found. Get found. Don't be lost anymore in the cornfields. And what this means for you, obviously, is more prospects, more opt-ins, more leads, more buyers for you. And the bottom line, what we all want out of our business, let's be honest. It's great to be shared and liked and admired and respected. But how about paying some bills, making some more money with this stuff? Now, I'm hired by some of the world's top marketers to do the same thing for them. And now you have a chance to benefit the way they do. So would it be okay, this is my pause, would it be okay if I showed you how I can help you even more than I already have today, way beyond the 5-step thing? Is that okay? Let's take about 5 more minutes, maybe 10. There's a problem. The problem is we all have life, right? Life gets in the way, family gets in the way, job gets in the way. And maybe you just aren't that good with story writing and getting targeted traffic to your website. That's understandable. Okay? What if you could work one-on-one with me? Better yet, raise your hand if you'd like to have us just do everything for you. Everything I've described here, that's the easy way. Just do it all for you. That would be a good thing, right? Well, guess what? That's what I have. And it's my application only for a very specific reason, which I'll share with you in a minute. Makes total sense. But let me describe to you what we do in a little bit more detail, if that's okay with your permission. I'm going to show you how this program, and again, because it's all labor intensive, there's no cookie cutter thing here. It is limited to only 12 people on this webinar. So that's right. What I'm about to offer you is very time intensive. So only 12 people can become part of it, and that's really a rule. It's not even a guideline. Okay. So the first thing we do is we do brand positioning. You will spend on the phone with me for no less than 30 minutes up to an hour, maybe longer, whatever it takes really, to discuss your branding and positioning And that's done on purpose and with a lot of thought, because we want to establish what's unique about you. I've got to get that compelling story from you or from somebody, perhaps one of your clients, however it works, that will attract new clients to you like a magnet. Okay, the second thing we do is that journalist interview. After we get the branding and positioning squared away, a journalist, either myself or one of my team members, will interview you. And that's an extensive interview. It's not a hard, we're gonna, find out your dirty laundry interview. It's a soft news interview about finding out what you're all about, who you've helped out, how you helped them. And we make that very, very compelling. Matter of fact, the recordings can often be turned into a product you could sell or use for part of your content pieces. So that's a very valuable experience for all of you. Then we put the real power to this thing, which is to craft and document a professional story. Now, we combine some things here. It's news, it's a little bit of education, and it's a little bit of sales, all right? There's some neuro-linguistic programming going on here, just a little bit of it to get people to go, wow, I got to get more of that solution. So we may lead with a trending news story or something negative or sad in the news. When we come down to the hero's journey towards the end of the article, and we present you as the hero, we're going to put in some really powerful stuff in there, and we're also going to leave out maybe one or two key pieces and let them know where they can go and find that last piece of the puzzle. A little curiosity in there. We do that without selling. We do that by informing, by using news, by using those human interest levels to get people to go, whoa, what's going on here? And I got to know more, and they got to start clicking. So instead of clicking away from your stuff, they're clicking into and through your stuff to go to your content and your page. Highly skilled copywriting is going on here. Then, like I mentioned earlier, that news story doesn't just stay on the news channel. It does not just stay on Google News. It gets syndicated to over 100 plus news organizations within 48 hours of publishing, with a new story about you, if you choose the monthly program, every couple of weeks. Okay. Then after that happens, after the second or sometimes third article, we're going to compile those. We're going to have my graphic designer, our branding team, and basically we're going to design for you something very, very valuable. It's called a press kit. Electronic press kits are required. There's no way you're going to get on any radio TV station or get any notable interview without one of these things, because they're not going to go to your cornstalk blog and go, oh, you're an expert. They're going to want to see other media appearances or publications you've been in, so they can go, oh yeah, you are credible. I saw this thing on NBC. Oh, I saw this thing on USA Today. Oh, that's right, here he is. Here's the article that was published in the BBC. Good job. This is our expert. Let's contact her. Press kit is basically required. And we customize that at a very, very high level. After that, okay, you've got your articles out there. You've got a custom press kit built for you. What happens when they actually call you? You know, to stutter and sound like an idiot on their interview. My very first interview was with Seattle Times. I was on the phone for 4 minutes. I was a little bit nervous. But when that news article got published and syndicated, and I booked 6 clients for $32,000, I was pretty happy about my results. That's because I had good media training. You're going to get private one-on-one media training so you can absolutely nail any future interview you do, and not just do a good job in the interview, but actually become a favorite guest for print journals, online journals, radio, television, the gamut. When that's all done, we don't stop there. We're going to go ahead and stick with you. I tend to focus on long-term relationships with my clients, who most of them become my friends. So you get me. You get one-on-one coaching. You schedule time whenever you need to discuss and analyze and change and adapt and grow the strategies, the tactics, any next steps you need to get more leads and more sales, more than you've ever experienced before. And then I'm going to also invite you to our members area. This is a real community. It's actually a cluster of different types of people. I have business people in there, business coaches in there, journalists, bloggers, a couple of media people in there. So we've got a nice group of people who are there not to sell their stuff. It's not one of those types of group. There's no spam allowed. It's meant as a community to share ask advice and be a safe place to say, listen, what do you think about this story? What do you think about this? We'll have a lot of discussions in there. And so in other words, when you add all that stuff up, the news story, the interview, the press kit, the media training, the one-on-one coaching, the community, it's about a $30,000 complete solution of being on page one on Google over and over again. High quality stuff that's actually read, so you don't have to do any more SEO or article writing or blogging or tweeting and blah, 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 all that stuff. It's gone. You don't need that anymore. But that's only the start, because I want to give you obviously some bonuses with this to make it just, brain dead simple. The first one is a best practice program I put together after I was on ABC radio in Chicago. I talked to some other journalists and some guests. So I call them professional guests, people who are in the media a lot, and they know it. They could do it in their sleep. And the quality of a good guest makes the host job just really simple, and they love you for that. So I put together a book and a 21 best practices how to be interviewed and published more often. So before you do any interview of any kind, whether it's a podcast or a newscast, you've got to get this program to engage and sell stuff without being salesy. And that's a $497 bonus. It's yours absolutely free with my program. And it's going to get better. I got more. There's more stuff here. When we're done with our first set of news stories, I'm going to give you our graphic pack. Our graphic pack, it took us a while to compile because there's over 140, 150 separate logos in there, not just the top ones, all the smaller ones as well, industry journals, regional, local, national, international logos, that all you can use on your website for that branding that shows people, hey, this person is an expert. They're actually an authority that's been vetted and published in respected news journals, okay? So those logos are all yours. You get those within a couple of days. And the most important part of those logos, for gosh sakes, put backlinks on them, okay? When you go to see those logos on your site, make sure your webmaster puts a hyperlink to the actual news story out there. So if you're on Sign On San Diego or on Newswire or Chicago Tribune or BBC, wherever it goes, put the logo on your site for sure. But then hyperlink that logo back to the story. So now there's an inbound link from you and an outbound link to you. Get it? It goes back and forth. It's just really good SEO for your website. Make sure you do that. So it's true. You'll not need any other SEO. You don't need any more article writing or blogging ever again. Okay? If you want to go and advertise, be my guest. It's not my cup of tea. It's okay to do it. If you want to work with us and get in the Wall Street Journal, it may take us 2 or 3 months, and it may take us, some money, but it's not going to be what you'd be charged if you were going to go ahead and advertise with them, where people may or may not read your ad. That will cost you $76,000 up to $300,000 to get an ad in the Wall Street Journal. That's for a big ad, of course. That's for a full pager. But even the quarter page, 76 grand. That's a lot of dough. So you want a complete solution to your problems, right? Complete. So I'm going to do something that nobody does. This is going to show you why I can only work with 12 people. Okay, I'm going to give my first 12 people an exclusive and very, very limited bonus. And you can't abuse this, all right? That's why we get in the phone first before I talk to you how to use this thing. I'm going to give you my media contact database. 700, a little more than 700, names, addresses, emails, and phone numbers of radio producers. So you can get on the air. And when you contact them with your press kit, your credentials, your training, boom, you're going to be, in the club, right? It's going to work really, really well. So that's a very big and expensive list that I can't put that out there to too many people because it would get ugly. The total value in all these things, if you actually use it, could be easily valued in the 7 figures. When you add up what the actual value on an item basis without being used, it's 36 grand easily, okay? So if you want to be a member of that for $19,997, you can get all of that. Now, obviously, at that price, it's not going to be for everybody. That's understandable. But what if? What if it actually worked like it did for these folks? In this case, this was a story we did, over 1,300 views in the first 24 hours. Company booked $17,500 in new business on this first article. Or this one. There was a solar company in Arizona, USA, that was, doing solar panel installation, a contractor. We found a story about a utility company that put out false information about the solar industry. And this was vetted and double checked by a couple other news organizations. We expanded the article, talked about how they were just being so slimy, blasting the solar industry. And then the hero of the story, my client, we're a solar installer and blah, 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 blah. You know what? Boom, $210,000 in new businesses just a few weeks. Or this lady, she does facials, right? She had a gal from E! News come in to get her facial done, and our story about that went wild. Our story actually outranked Ali Fedotowsky's own Facebook page, and that landed my client on NBC television, and she got a gig on the Doctor's show. So she went from zero to hero in a matter of, gosh, it was just like a couple of months, because she had stuff in the news, it was vetted, it was interesting, it was virally shared, and it got her in the media. So I'm sure you agree this program is actually a very comprehensive, complete solution. At $19,997, it may still be out of your reach. So I was working and trying to make a way to make it more accessible to more people, at least to the first 12. So I want this to be something that you can get involved in quickly, right away, but only stay in the program if it actually makes you lots of money. Would that be okay? Yeah, I think so. So if I could make this entire program extremely affordable to own, who would be interested in getting involved right now? You can raise your hand, or you can just wait 10 seconds, because I'm gonna share with you. Imagine getting more target traffic than you can handle, and having us do all the heavy lifting for you, and being able to get started right away. How would that feel to actually get things going quickly and in a big way? It'd feel great. Okay. The great news, you can. With this special limited offer I created, you can start right now for only $997 a month. That's it. And you stay for as long as you like. There's absolutely no obligation or commitment to it. So, staying for a month or a year or forever. Okay. This way, you don't have to pay up front for the whole program. You only pay as you profit. As things start tracking and coming in for you, you continue your marketing out of proceeds from your sales. Hello. Okay, for just $997 a month, I mean, you want to be making as much more than that per month, right? So when you do, this will be the best investment you can ever make. And you can, in 30 days, there's no reason you should be able to make your investment back unless you've got a crappy product. I can't help with that. But you just have to take action, and I can help you with that. We'll take a look at your product before we actually send a lot of traffic your way. So for just $997 a month, you can stay as long as you want or as short as you want. All we do is go to authorityfusion.com/apply, and we can get started right away. So, in fact, let me do a couple more things here just to make it crazy, make it easy decision for you. The truth is, you can try the whole program without taking any risk at all. If it's not for you, absolutely no problem. Here's what I mean by that. I'm the only person in my industry that does this. Okay, you are 100% protected. I only want you to stick with us if you absolutely love it. If after 30 days you don't want to continue, you say, yeah, it's not that it's just not working for me. I don't even like it. No hassle, no questions, no problem. All I'm asking you to do is to keep your appointments with us, fill out your form, your intake form, and then I guarantee you'll be in the news. The worst case is on this whole thing, it's like, yeah, I don't want my money back. And you've learned a whole lot of stuff along the way. So creating all that content, publishing it, sharing it, creating your press kit, media training, all these things add up to a lot of manual labor on our team. And after creating it, you sort of have it, sort of in the internet. I can't take it all back. So you have to like it, right? And if you don't like it, I'm so confident that I'm willing to give your money back if you don't like it for any reason. So I want to make you feel like this is the best decision you made all year. So if you allow me, only for these 12 people now, I'm going to give you some thank you gifts, which I'm pretty proud of. The first one is this program I created last year called Become the Authority. And Become the Authority is a reverse engineered, it's hard for me to say because I created it, but I'm just really proud of it, okay? It's a way to get people to engage with you, to help you position your content, whether it's a book or your business or a product, and actually pre-sell it and pre-create your content before you even launch the product. Imagine having 1,000 pre-sales before you ever actually launch a product. Now, big companies do this all the time. They have their users, their user-generated content, or their focus groups help them create products for them. That's very expensive. My system with our book, our videos, and our very comprehensive checklists allow you to do this for next to nothing, and creating hundreds or even thousands of engaged people to help you craft your book or your product, and you actually use them in the, I mean, in a good way, in the product and process, so that when you actually launch it, it's pre-sold. Half the people who are going to buy it have already helped you create it. It's a beautiful system. So that is a $1,000 program I'm actually selling online, but for these 12 people, if you're one of the 12, it's yours included. And then crazily, I talked about one of my other journalist editors, and they said they'd be willing to do this for the 12 people, but actually give you a double on this thing. So instead of just giving you one article on this, we're going to double it up, and you actually get twice as many articles per month. So double the articles, you double the traffic, and I don't care what you do with that extra article. You could sell it yourself for whatever you want and pay for the whole thing, or you can give it to a client or a gift or a nonprofit, whatever you want to do. But we're going to have a lot of high quality traffic to both of these pieces of content out there, and you get to choose how you want to do that. And that's every single month. Okay, so who would like all this stuff for free? We all would, right? It's only for you if you want to try out my program right now. So the warning I have is actually true. It's not one of those weird things. Whoa. Okay, I can only work with 12 people. And the reason is because I have other clients I'm servicing right now. There's a lot of manual input of interviews, positioning, writing, publishing, syndication, sharing. There's a lot of work to be done on each of these articles one at a time. So we only have room for 12 people. And so if you want that, it's available. All you've got to do is apply by going to authorityfusion.com/apply. Now, the very last crazy bonus I want to offer you is something I can't, it's not on the form, right? I can't print this yet because it's still in the works, but I can talk about it. And no matter when you're watching this, it'll be there for you in some form. But for the first people who get involved on this webinar, I'm going to give it to you at no cost whatsoever, and it's crazy. This is going to blow your mind. So just check this out. I'm going to give you 196,000 opted-in leads instantly, and it's going to get bigger from that. I've been working with a couple of programmers and marketers for a while now on the world's first crowdsourced list building program. It's crazy huge. And for my charter members, people get started with me early, they're going to get access to this at no cost. I know you're going to get that huge database all opted in, no cost to you. So I can't give you any more details on that other than it's big and it's free for the first 12 people. After that, there'll be membership stuff. So are you serious about getting started? Are you serious about getting involved and getting your business to explode and finally get the traffic that you need? So all it takes is $997 down and you're in. Let's go to authorityfusion.com/apply. And just to finalize the rundown, so you understand the value here, strategy session, the journalist interview, 2 story-based sales copy articles, 2 syndicated published in the news programs, a graphic package, all those graphics, all those high PR backlinks, and then of course stuff that goes with it, the coaching, the media guest training, critical stuff, and then of course that list of media producers you want to contact to get on the air. My very proud of my Become the Authority program and that professional press kit, which is custom designed, your logo, your colors, your news stories, and the whole value is 57 grand. But all you do today really is set an appointment and qualify for $997, and the first 12 you're in. So everything right now at $57,964 for $997 down and $997 for the length of time you choose to be in the program. It's all yours at authorityfusion.com/apply. That's it. So if you're ready to be a true authority, just be one of the first 12 people, and they'll have me hold your hand to this success. So somebody's asking some questions already. I'll get the questions in 1 second. You got the numbers there, authorityfusion.com/apply. And the qualifications of it is very simple. You submit your refundable deposit, make sure you're serious, fill out a short form, and we hop on a call. And then we go through your business, your positioning, your brand, your stories. And if we're all looking good, we go. And if for some reason we're not, then you get your deposit back and we move on. So in order to do that, I've got to do that in the next few days. So go ahead and apply, authorityfusion.com/apply, and we're ready to go. All right. Briefly, my consultations are definitely limited. Okay, I'm busy, current clients, so I just got room for those 12 spots. So I'm going to go ahead and go right to questions. Just a little bit over an hour. That's good timing for me. I'm going to go ahead and take questions and answers. I see a couple things in the chat box here. Slides out of focus. That was probably, thanks Gwen for that. I think that was an issue. I'm 99% sure that's a Google Hangout issue with the fuzziness, but I will double check on the replay to see if that's you, me, or both of us. Yossi's asking, the lecture available to download. You know what? I would be happy to do that for you, Yossi. I'm going to put this particular one on replay, so I'll post it on the website, authorityfusion.com. And I'll post it there. So I'll put that in the answer thing here so everybody can get that right in there. And that'll be on this page for sure at the bottom. Okay. And then of course this is on public, right? Enable chat box, both private and public messages. Right. Okay. We got that. And of course the actual offer, of course, is this one here, the authorityfusion.com/apply. Okay, more questions. Somebody asked about the nonprofit thing. Yes, great question. I have a couple of nonprofit clients, and they're not specifically selling a product, of course. They're selling an idea, a passion, a vision for serving humanity, which is wonderful. So one of them is doing a crowdfunding campaign, and we just started that, so I'll have some data on that soon, but the traffic we're getting is really quite good. The other one is building a list, so we've got some good feedback on building lists by using the news and putting you in a position to be the feature in that. So great questions. Any guarantees on being on TV? With this program, with the 997 program, we don't guarantee TV time, but we guarantee you, as long as you stick with it, we'll get you better than TV time. We're going to set you up so that you are very attractive to the television stations, and we vet you with that. Excuse me for the throat. With the training to make sure that you actually look good on TV, and then with that list and our ongoing program, we put you in the good position to get that, to pull that off. We do have another program that's not listed for just a few clients. We actually do guarantee that. It's a different price level, different commitment level in order to pull it off. I really can't stand, PR agencies that don't have any deliverables and guarantees. So I have a unique one that's does guarantee some TV and radio time. Good questions. Can't afford a 997. Okay, well, if the 997 is out of your budget, don't just run away. Contact me, and we can certainly help you out with that in some way and talk to you if there's a way to work with you on that. I hate turning people away with they've got a good message, the good thing. So if you wanted to actually just have a conversation with me to discuss things like that, then I'm available. On appointment-based dougcrow.youcanbook. Oops. You can go to that dougcrow.youcanbook.me, and I'd be happy to discuss that with you. But most of my time is spent with current clients and clients in our program. If you can't get on my calendar right away, just be patient, get back to you within a week or two at the very most. All right, so yeah, I answered those questions about nonprofits, high price, low price. Will it work for anybody? Yes, I've never had a situation, somebody who was a real person, who I couldn't turn into a news story. So far I'm batting a 1,000. There's nobody I can't align with a trending topic. It might not happen in 24 hours, right? You might wait a couple days for something juicy to align you with, but every single person I've run across, I'm able to spin their content, their products or position into the news to get them that high quality target traffic. Okay, I see a couple people. Okay, good, thank you. All right, we've got 3 people that are registered to go. Good deal, all right. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Paula. Okay, Bill, yes. Bill, yes. Schedule. Bill's asking when he just got started, and he wants to know when he's scheduled. You'll schedule just on the next, after you click the button, Bill, you'll go right to an appointment page after that. So keep clicking through, and you'll see the appointment page, and we'll hop on the phone probably tomorrow or next day at the very latest and go through your branding and positioning. Good, thanks. Welcome aboard, the 3 of you. All right. Any other questions out there for authorityfusion.com/apply? We've got a few spots left for this month, and I look forward to working with you. Okay, 2 more. Yay! All right. Yes. All right. We've got 5 more. So that's how many more to go? Is that 7? I can do math. I'm good at story writing. Doug Crow here. Happy to help you guys out. I've got a few spots left on our Get in the News, Get Noticed, and Get Targeted Traffic program with authorityfusion.com/apply. It is an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave this up here for a little bit. And I have a lot of people on this webinar, so I'm going to just wait a few minutes. But I don't need to keep chatting if there's no more questions. Hi, musician. Hey, musician. Hi, Lorraine. Lorraine, you've got a lot of newsworthy things. You know that. I have a gal I've talked with who's got an amazing product. She's a music teacher. Can I talk about you, Lorraine? Is that all right? Yeah, I'm going to anyway. She's got an amazing product, and it's very, very newsworthy. So we're going to talk again, Lorraine, about getting you in the news and getting you some traffic to get some stuff sold there. We just got to discuss which way to go with you. So just go and make another appointment. Let's hop on the phone and go through it, because I believe in you, and you've got some really good stuff there. So. Great. Thanks for coming on the webinar again, Lorraine. I appreciate that. All right, 2 more. Good. Okay, we got 5 spots left. All right, very good. We got 5 spots left for the Authority Fusion program. Go ahead and click on authorityfusion.com/apply, and or ask me a question if you'd like. But we've got some great products here, great service, and the bonuses, off the chart bonuses. I'm very, very proud of those, and those will definitely, especially the media list, cannot go beyond 12. That just would be bad for everybody. So we're going to keep that close to the cuff here. All righty, I'm going to go ahead and close it out here. I don't want to take all day. You guys have been wonderful. I appreciate your input, your time, your investment, and I look forward to putting you guys in the news and getting you more traffic than you can possibly handle, targeted to your stuff. Thank you so much. This is Doug Crow with Authority Fusion, authorityfusion.com. Have a great day. Bye-bye.